Hello there, and welcome to Real Reviews. My name is Jamison Rabbit, and sitting next to me is a man who has never drank from a hose. His name is Mike Roth.
That's just nasty. Why would anybody do that? I don't care if that's a childhood memory for other people. It's warm. It's dirty. You got a perfectly good tap right inside. Well, unless you live in Minnesota.
Here's the thing. Now we're going to get to a fact about me. I only drink from a hose.
Whoa!
It's the only way I drink my water.
Winters must be rough.
Right here, hose water. That's every time. Every time I come in, where's my fresh cup of hose water? I can't do my show without it.
During the winter, do you store up hose water inside the house?
In pails. We get buckets. Old wooden buckets full of hose water.
Yeah, cut up little pieces of rubber in it.
Yep,
So it
just throw it in and give it
that.
Oh, yeah. That's how we do it.
Nasty.
Come on, Mike.
Who does that?
Who does it? All right, folks. We've got some movies to talk about. That's why we're here. That's why you're watching. And so I'm going to dive right into our first movie that we have on the marquee this week. And the first one I have is a movie from director Kevin Smith. It's his latest venture. It is the second movie in his quote-unquote Canadian trilogy that he's writing, following up on Tusk. And this is a pseudo-sequel to Tusk. The movie is Yoga Hosers. Yoga Hosers notably stars his daughter, Harley Quinn Smith, and Johnny Depp's daughter, Lily Rose Depp. Their names are Colleen. They're the Colleens. Oh. And the Colleens are way into yoga and way into their cell phones. And they are way into themselves. They're snarky high school kids who are also clerks. Oh, boy.
Oh, goodness.
Up in Canada, eh? And there's, you've got Johnny Depp returning. If you saw Tusk, which, oh, God bless you, but if you saw Tusk, he's returning as Guy Lapointe, the horribly French-Canadian investigator. These girls are also the girls who discovered the Walrus Man from Tusk. They're like low-level local celebrities because they found the Walrus Man.
Oh, wow.
And so they are just kind of going through their life, worried about Snapchatting everything. They're in a girl band with Adam Brody, who is a 35-year-old mop boy at the convenience store as their drummer. And they're just kind of going through their life, dealing with the things that you do deal with in high school, like the cute guy being a Satanist and wanting to kill you. Oh, and by the way, you also have to deal with a bunch of tiny anthropomorphic sausages that are Nazis.
I was kind of wondering why the trailer here just took a turn for the worst.
Yeah. So you have a German scientist who is trying to build himself a Nazi army out of sausages. There was a mishap, and there are a bunch of tiny little, get this, Bratzies, they call them.
Oh.
Yeah. Kevin Smith plays the Bratzies. And the Bratzies, they attack people by going up their butt. That's how they do it. They go.
This is classy.
It's good stuff. So you've got this whole thing. It's Kevin Smith. He says this is his love letter to Canada. He's been working on getting his honorary Canadian degree the last few years. Like, I want to be an honorary Canadian, and he says this movie is like a love letter. It feels like it's really condescending towards Canadians. It is so heavy-handed and cheesy with the Canadian accents. It felt like somebody who knows just a little bit about Canada. Like, everyone says A, and they like Bob Evans and hockey. Yeah. And so there, I'm going to write my movie about it. You've got the accents in here make the Fargo accents seem really subtle. Like, they're really going over the top with these Canadian accents. And, you know, you watch it, and you can watch Kevin Smith trying to universe build for tying this together with Tusk and putting little bread trails towards the next movie, Moose Jaws. Mm-hmm. He's trying to really build it up. He's trying to tie everything together. And he's still trying to, like, harken back to the glory days. Obviously, having the girls be clerks, right? Let's go back to the glory days. You have this in the trailer. There's this ham-fisted delivery where his daughter says the classic Dante line from Clerks, "I'm not even supposed to be here today." Like, it's bad. You get another, just like in Tusk, you get another "I don't want to die in Canada" line. Like, apparently this is going to be the line for his movies. "I don't want to die in Canada."
Yeah, I could see that definitely in Moose Jaws, which is like Jaws, but
right.
with a moose.
I think every sentence that someone speaks has to have an a boot in it to really drive home that we're in Canada. Yeah. Everyone has to say a boot in every sentence. There's some interesting things to it, though. Like, there's this weird, like, every time they introduce a new character, it cuts, and there's, like, this weird, like, early 90s video game graphic, like, describing them, like, here's what they are and what they're into. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
It's kind of an interesting take. The movie is a total departure from Tusk. You know, it's more silly and fun, not as dark and brooding, which is...
Oh, yeah.
You know,
it's disturbingly dark.
Right. And, you know, and these Colleens, they're way into yoga. Justin Long is back, not as a walrus this time, but as a yogi. And it's... The movie is not good, all right? Okay. It's not a good movie. Here's the thing. It might be so bad that it's good. Like, I could see it as one of those movies who, in a couple years, like, you know what? It's a good, bad movie. That's a guilty pleasure movie.
Like everything Dramaton has done? Kind of bad?
Like, Tusk was bad. Yeah. I really did not like Tusk. I thought it was a bad, bad movie. This movie is, I gave it 2 stars. I watched it, and then it hung with me. And the next day, I'm like rethinking it, like, I kind of want to rewatch that. I mean, the little knots, the Bratzies, is the dumbest thing ever. They look terrible. These Nazis start coming out of people's orifices, and the girls have zero reaction to it. Like, this is everyday thing.
Yeah.
Like, oh, man, I guess we got to start killing these. And when they rip them apart, like, sauerkraut comes pouring out of them, but it's really bad CGI sauerkraut that comes. It's as dumb as it sounds.
I did feel the same way after Tusk. If you recall, like, scenes from Tusk, there's a lot of funny scenes in that movie that stick with you. Yeah. But when you see it all in order, it's not good. Not good at all.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I mean, Kevin Smith's daughter, Harley Quinn Smith, she's not a good actress. No, this is like the first thing she's legitimately worked in.
Well, she was in Tusk.
I mean, but it's very small, right? Yeah. And she's really wooden. And so is his wife, Jen. She's not a good actress either. Lily Rose Depp is actually pretty good in this. Like, you can tell which one of the daughters came from an acting family and which one's dad is Silent Bob. Yeah. You know, and unfortunately, it doesn't play out because Johnny Depp is just as terrible in this as he was in Tusk, as Guy Lapointe. Yeah. With the mole that constantly moves, like it's in Men in Tights. Same thing. His mole moves constantly every time they cut back to him. It's bad, but it might be good.
But it might be good. So bad that it's a curiosity.
Yoga hosers. There you go. What do you have, sir?
I have Storks, a little animated movie that came out this week, directed by Nicholas Stoller.
Sure.
You might remember him from the Neighbors series that had been going on, and forgetting Sarah Marshall, I think, is one of his bigger ones. What we have here is Junior. He is everybody remembers Storks. Storks used to deliver babies a long time ago, but now they deliver for an online company called cornerstore.com. Much more profitable, not as much mistakes. They're pretty happy with it. And Junior is the employee that's on that fast track to management, voiced over by Andy Samberg. There's one problem. There's one little hitch. Hunter, who is the boss now, he's going up in promotion. He's voiced by Kelsey Grammer. He tells him, listen, if you want this job, and you got this job, all you have to do is fire Tulip, who was pretty much the last orphan that never got delivered.
Tulip.
But don't call her orphan, it hurts her heart. So you have Junior and Tulip. Junior doesn't have the heart to really fire her, so he brings her to the mail department of the old baby factory, which doesn't receive anything anymore. She gets bored. She accidentally makes a delivery, or makes a baby, not the traditional way that...
Creates the baby.
In Stork way, creates the baby. And Junior wants to sweep this under the rug, so he's like, okay, you and me, we're going to deliver this baby. Don't look at it. The cuteness power will compel you to keep it, and we blah, blah, blah. And this is pretty much their adventure of trying to get this baby delivered without notice.
Right.
Yeah. We have a lot of characters in there. We have Jennifer Aniston plays Sarah Gardner. She is the mom who is working all the time and doesn't want to have another child. Her husband, Henry Gardner, by Ty Burrell, and their son, Anton Starkman, who I really don't know from too much of anything.
No.
But he is the kid who just really wants a baby brother and wishes his mom and dad would stop working as much.
Sure.
And they're waiting for this baby, which is ultimate cuteness.
Ultimate cuteness. Yeah, you know what? So you have Junior and you have Tulip out on their mission, and of course there's a bonding, between them, obviously. There's a couple of things I really liked in this movie. Kelsey Grammer as Hunter was great. I love Kelsey Grammer, and he was perfect for that role.
Yeah, he's got
of the tough boss.
The deep, tough boss,
Yeah, he's got that voice.
I really like Katie Crown as a voice actor, and that's pretty much her job. She is not an actor. She is a voice actor for cartoons.
Absolutely.
I think her voice acting was spot on and good. The problem I did have with almost every voice actor in here was this seemed like a movie that was constantly yelling and screaming and funny voices. And it became abundantly clear during this little segment, which I really enjoyed, where everything got quiet.
I have that. That's my favorite scene of the movie, a silent fight.
It was great. And once everything got quiet, I felt this anxiety that was way up in my throat, just... Oh, finally.
It's the best part of the movie because it's so original to have a silent fight. Don't wake the baby. We're going to have a fight, but we all got to be real quiet about it because nobody's waking up that baby. That's a brilliant idea.
That was a really good part. And I must admit, the end of the movie, I started getting used to the characters a little bit, like the pigeon.
Pigeon Toady.
Pigeon Toady, his voice was grating to me. All the way up until the end.
A surfer guy, dumb pigeon.
Is that what it would be?
I don't know the voice.
It kind of was way off.
Hey guys, what's going on?
Yeah. And he would say things weird. It wasn't a normal accent for anything.
Yeah. I liked it. That worked for me. One of the things I really liked too was you got Key and Peele in here as the alpha and beta of a wolf pack. And they're going after because they fall in love with the baby along the way. And the wolves take on Wonder Twin powers.
Yeah.
It's great. Junior and Tulip are running from this wolf pack who's trying to get the baby. And it's wolf pack, take on shape of a motorboat.
Yeah, and they would Voltron.
And I loved how they would show how this works. They're doing this, and then they all come together, take on a bridge, and they do it that's pretty funny. I like that. That was kind of cool, creative,
Yeah.
I mean, you have to do something when it's just basically, it's kind of similar to a lot of the movies, the animated movies you've seen this summer, where you're on the run. Yeah. You're on the run with somebody that you don't particularly care for. That's kind of been most of the animated movies we've seen this summer.
Yeah.
And we've got a bond because we have a similar mission, and one of us is hoping to get rid of the other one before the mission is done. Mm-hmm. That's the thrust of Finding Dory, and I can't remember the one with Pets, and this.
Yeah. Man, I wish I was as enthused as I wanted to like this, but
it sounds like you didn't.
I didn't. I thought Tulip's character was good, but I had so much anxiety from all the yelling and all the crazy noises people were making. It just felt overstimulating.
Take the Xanax before you walk into the theater, man. It'll make it so much more enjoyable.
Maybe I should be the only guy who drinks in these.
You wouldn't be the only one. Trust me. Trust me.
But it was hard for me to calm down. The wolves, I thought, were too much in the face. There's too much cuteness. There's too much yelling. And really, I didn't find that much originality with this movie. I felt like I've seen this movie already this year and prior years.
Yeah, I mean, there wasn't a whole lot original. There's a few moments, a few scenes like the silent fights and stuff like that. It was good, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the voice actors. I enjoyed, I enjoyed watching Junior and Tulip bond. I thought Tulip was really sweet. I was enjoying her a lot.
I like the Tulip character a lot. And Junior, even though Adam Sandberg seems to do a lot of voice acting work, tons of it, this one I think he really excelled at getting that character of someone who wants to get promoted, someone who wants to sweep things.
You could feel the turmoil.
You could feel that this type of character was someone original. Yeah. But
I think I liked it a little bit more than you. I gave it 3 stars.
You gave it 3
stars? I thought it was a good, fun. I laughed a few times. I was having a good time with it. I enjoyed it. I recommend it.
I wish I laughed. I wish my best moment wasn't the time where it was quiet so I could just relax a little bit. I ended up giving it 2, which is a little under par. Sorry. Sorry,
okay. You
Storks
don't have,
people.
We don't have to all love Storks.
Yeah, that's a cool thing about a review show. We don't have to agree. It's actually better if we just don't agree every once in a while. I disagree with you.
I won't stand for this. All right, we'll see how this stands for our next movie on the marquee. The next one we have coming up is The Magnificent Seven, the remake of the 1970s version, which was a remake of another movie. But we get a new gang of guys together. First off, we have a big, powerful, evil landowner played by Peter Sarsgaard. He's a man named Bogue. And he is stealing people's land. In violent means. He's using a violent means, and he's just taking their land to mine for gold. And if you don't want to give him your land, he just flat murders you in the middle of the street, which is how the movie opens, is him and his gang just murdering people that don't want to sell him their land for $20.
It was a pretty evil guy. They're all in a church together, which you figure you're safe, and they're talking about how terrible it is that he's poisoning the water.
Yeah. And so he murders a bunch of people, including Haley Bennett's husband. And so she decides, I got to hire some people. I got to find some gunslingers to go out for revenge. She discovers a character named Chisholm, played by Denzel Washington, and hires him. I'll give you everything I have, please. And he sees something in her, says, okay, let's go. We got to get a team, though, because we're going up against an army. And he kind of puts together this team. He brings in Chris Pratt, who's playing a guy named Faraday. They bring in an old friend of his, Ethan Hawke, this guy named Goodnight. And he brings along his Asian friend, Billy, who is a guy who just likes to throw knives. You bring in Vincent D'Onofrio comes in as this character that I don't fully understand, but I truly love, Jack Horn. You bring in Vasquez, the Mexican guy, Red Harvest, the Comanche Indian. We got our 7. It's time to go to war. And it follows, this story. It's a well-told story of, rallying around, getting the townsfolk, empowering them. We're all fighting together.
It's really a story that's known all around the world.
It's been told many times. And I had a worry going into this with this cast. I enjoy most of the people in this cast. My worry was Chris Pratt from the outset. I was worried that I like Chris Pratt a lot. I was worried that he would be too slapsticky for this role. That his goofballness, which I enjoy in so many things, would not fit right in this. And I was surprised. I was pleasantly surprised. I thought it worked pretty well. I thought his play off of Denzel's kind of more brooding worked really well.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I think Chris Pratt, he brought that humor into this movie, and it did well. It kind of reminded me of another movie that we might talk about later, a Japanese movie.
Sure.
But I could see that character. He's just like the, I'm going to do whatever kind of guy, but I do it so well that it's kind of slick.
Yeah, I thought all this cast was really good. I thought Denzel was really good as he was not the white hat good guy. You could tell there were some bad things about him in his past. There was a reason that a lot of these guys had issues that they brought with them.
Yeah.
My only problem with this story is I wish that Antoine Fuqua, the director, would have given this movie more time. Give me 20 more minutes and give me some backstory. Give me some more depth to these characters. Give me more depth to the villain. I enjoyed what I got out of him. I wanted more. Make him more menacing.
A lot of the characters as they introduce, and this is a problem with a lot of movies where they introduce a lot of new characters all at once. It seemed like the majority of them was, I see you, and now you're part of our gang.
Yeah.
A great example would be Red Harvest, who just pretty much walked in. Everybody was scared of him because he was a Native American and his
Comanche,
they're warriors. Like that. And literally, it was just Denzel saw him, happened to know the same communication, and then Red Harvest was willing to die for whatever cause it was. I don't think he was even really explained. He was just, all right, I'm not doing anything.
He's one of ours. Let's cook him some breakfast.
And same thing with the Jack Home, which is Vincent
D'Onofrio,
D'Onofrio, who in this case, I did not think he was a good actor. He was very inconsistent.
I loved him in this.
I liked his character later on in the movie. In the beginning of the movie, it seemed like he was just constantly having a stroke to me.
But his character was so out there, I wanted to know what was going on.
Yeah.
I wanted to know how Goodnight and Billy got together.
Yep.
They had this weird bond that he kind of, a throwaway line kind of explained. I wanted to know what was going on with Goodnight. They kind of hinted different things with him.
Yeah.
And Ethan Hawke, I thought, did a good job with it, but I just wanted more. And Fuqua is a great director who normally will give you everything he'll make this character three-dimensional for you. I thought these characters all felt very flat. It almost felt like he was like, well, you all know these guys. You all know the story, so I don't need to really explain anything.
But a lot of people don't.
Right, and that's the problem, is it felt like he was trying to fast-track his way right to the good part. And even the part where you mobilize the town folk, it felt very rushed. It felt like we got to get to the thrust of the battle.
Yeah.
And once they got to that part, I thought it was great. I thought it was a lot of fun.
I think if they were going to keep the same time slot, I would have been happier with a little bit less of the battle, just so I could get more backstory, get more introduction, so I could feel a connection for these guys.
Absolutely.
I want to feel bad. I want to feel good. I can't really do that if I don't really care.
Vasquez, I barely know anything about.
Yeah.
I mean, I just know that he and Faraday don't really care for each other.
Yeah.
Faraday doesn't like him because he's a Mexican, and that's all I know about. You know, it's like I know this guy. Go get him. Okay, and he shows up.
It was almost better if they just never introduced that guy. He would have been the Slipknot of the group.
I mean, literally at the end of the movie, I had to lean over and ask my son, who I was with, I'm like, did Vasquez die or not? Because I don't remember them even showing him at the end.
Yeah.
You know, it was like, oh yeah, he was kind of the forgotten one. And so it was. I enjoy the movie. I enjoy the actors. I wish the biggest thing is, for me, I'm a big fan of villains in movies. Make your villains strong to make your heroes stronger. And I wish that some point in the middle of the movie they would have gone back to Sarsgaard's character and shown him, like, while the townsfolk are mobilizing, show him, like, doing something evil in the next town to those people and be like, oh, he is bad. Because you got that great scene at the beginning in the church, and then you didn't see him again until the end of the movie.
Well, even with the bad guys, you had bad guys on there that you knew had backstory, but all you knew was they were going to foreshadow. The bad guys also had a Comanche warrior.
Right.
And it's like, okay, I have no idea why this guy's working for you. He sticks out in the crowd, and I also know that eventually both your Comanche warriors are going to fight together because that would be a stereotype for this movie. I have not seen the original Magnificent Seven, so...
Great movie.
I
just rewatched it this week. It's a really great movie. I mean, it is another great all-star cast. You know, Charles Bronson, Steve McQueen, Yul Brynner, all these guys. Great movie. It's longer. It explains things. It's more paced like a 70s movie where they take the time to let it breathe. Good movie. That's a great movie. This movie's a good movie. I think it's good, not spectacular.
There's a couple of
nice
scenes in
Western.
here that I definitely will take away. That Chris Pratt with his card tricks were they were funny. They were really funny.
My favorite line in this movie is at the end when Denzel's character meets the villain. The villain says, "Should I know your name?" He goes, "You'll know my name from your obituary." I'm like, that's a great line, Denzel. That a boy. But ultimately, what did you give The Magnificent Seven?
I give it a 3. I thought it was a good movie. I don't think it was great. Some things I'll walk away with, but for the most part, the only reason why I'll remember this is because we don't have cowboy movies very often.
Yeah, very rare. I give it 3 stars as well. I think it's a good movie. I think it's good, not great. It's fun. Will you enjoy watching it? Absolutely. Will you regret watching it? No, it'll be a good time, but it's just not. It's not special.
Yeah.
But you know what? To kind of pair, going back to our throwback real quick, we're going to throw back to 1954, pairing it with Magnificent Seven, a movie we've kind of hinted at. 1954's Seven Samurai. Akira Kurosawa directed this movie. This is the grandfather of not only the Magnificent Seven features, but a lot of movies that you recognize as action movies or Avengers team-up movies.
Star Wars is...
It came from Seven Samurai and Akira Kurosawa. It's this story of these villagers who are being raided by bandits, and they go and they get these samurai, and the samurai are great men, and it's impossible to get them to do something, but they get these samurai, they team up, there's 7 of them. It's a weird group of samurai led by, you have Takashi Shimura as the old wise samurai. And I mean, Takashi Shimura and Toshiro Mifune were in either one or together were in every movie that Kurosawa made. They were his muses. And you get them teamed up in this movie as a samurai. And Mifune as like the self-made samurai who's really brash and has to let everyone know, I'm better, I can do that better than you.
Yeah.
His sword is bigger than everyone else's. He gets carried over his shoulder like, I'm so much better. Shimura as the older, wiser, almost bemused leader of this group, and they come together and they help rally the townsfolk, and we're going to fight these bandits. And it's a long movie. It's 3.5 hours long.
It is.
You want character development? You're getting character development in this. You're going to know everyone.
Yeah, every single samurai. I mean, it helps to have 3.5 hours, but every single samurai in here, you have a feeling for it. They're all cool. They're all different. You don't. It's just beautifully shot.
Yeah, it's perfect camera work.
Yeah.
I mean, you have this deep focus in this movie where you see foreground, background together in beautiful focus. You have these long cuts, these long shots of things going on where Kurosawa doesn't cut. He just lets it roll. And you start to feel like you're part of this. And one of the things I really enjoy about this movie is, unlike The Magnificent Seven, the bad guys aren't just faceless bad guys, because you are keeping track of how many of these, there's 40 bandits we're fighting. And you know when one's been taken down. You know how many are left. It's not just hordes of bad guys, wave after wave of bad guy. You know how many there are because we've planned this. And so you feel like, with that and the camera work, you feel like you're part of the battle because you're like, there's 17 more guys.
Yeah.
It could be anywhere.
This movie is also would be classified as a tragedy, and with every death of a samurai, you feel bad. You really do. You're like, oh, that character was great. I really wasn't ready to see this person pass. And unfortunately, sometimes great movies take risks like that. Sometimes you just don't leave a movie happy. You just leave awed.
I love this movie. I think this movie, it's in my top 5 favorite movies ever. I think it's a perfect movie. I don't think, in 3 hours and 20-some minutes, I don't think there's a wasted minute in this movie. I think it is just incredible. And there's a reason that this movie has been ripped off repeatedly over and over again, because Kurosawa brought so much to the table with this.
Yeah, we have brought him up before. I believe when we did Star Wars, we
did The Hidden Fortress.
Yep, and I'm sure we are going to mention him again.
Hey, I'd love to get Yojimbo in here, because that's another great one that was turned into all the great Eastwood movies. But Seven Samurai, man, it's so good. Take the time if you can. There's a great Criterion Collection version out there right now that has so much on it.
I was really surprised that they didn't clean it up. I mean,
that Criterion edition is fairly old. It was one of the early Criterions.
Okay.
Like one of the first 5, I think, that they did. So it is a little dated, before they were really doing a lot of techniques, but it's way better than, this movie is, 70 plus years old.
Yeah.
They did a pretty good job of cleaning it. 60 plus years old, yeah.
Yeah. They got a lot of work to do something like that.
Beautiful movie. Go check out Seven Samurai.
Yeah.
Speaking of movies to check out, let's take a look ahead at what's coming out in the upcoming week. The first movie that we have coming out is a movie that is based on the book that shook a nation. I've been told that 100 times in the trailers. Okay. I'm talking about The Girl on the Train.
Oh, all right. Yeah.
This trailer has been nonstop. It's a thriller, and it stars Haley Bennett from this Magnificent Seven, the widow.
Yeah.
She is she gets murdered. You know it in the first minute of this trailer. I'm interested to see this. Emily Blunt, I'm down with it.
I haven't really had an opinion, but the trailers and the media tells me I should. So
absolutely. It shook a nation, Mike. That's all I know.
That's all I know, too.
I never heard of it until this, but it shook a nation.
I've been seeing so many previews for it for the past 2 weeks that...
The next movie coming out that weekend is a movie that really has me interested. It's The Birth of a Nation. Nate Parker's new movie about racism and slavery and the birth of this nation. Don't confuse this with the I think Edward G. Robinson movie from the early 1900s called The Birth of a Nation, which was literally a 2-part movie based upon slavery in the Civil War and was horribly racist. A lot of blackface in that movie.
Oh,
I watched it recently. It's like 3 hours long.
Yeah.
It's good. The first half is good. The second half is rough. But this one is not that movie. And finally, we have Middle School, The Worst Years of My Life.
I've been seeing a lot of previews for that.
It looks fun.
Yeah, it could be fun.
Both of my sons have read these books, apparently, and said, good stuff. So it looks fun. It's got a fun cast.
Yeah.
You know, good comedy cast. So those will be coming out soon. Before we leave you, of course, we have to thank our sponsor, Marcus Theaters. Thank you for sponsoring our show. The Palace is a wonderful place. We highly recommend it. If you want to find more from us, you can always find us on Facebook. You can find us on Twitter. Real Reviews TV, at Real Reviews TV will get you everywhere you need to go. You can find more from us on ksun.tv. Watch all the episodes we have, or you can find us on YouTube, KSUN, Real Reviews KSUN.
Yes.
Yeah. Next episode, we're going to be talking about Deepwater Horizon. We're going to be talking about Masterminds, Queen of Kotway, and something else.
There is one more movie.
There's one more, and I can't remember, but we'll find out next week. Hey, but until that time, my name is Jamison.
I'm Mike Roth.
Thanks for watching.